here, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dance with skates aflash. The home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees. They travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Take me where hockey players face off down.
Now please welcome to the ice for their pregame warm-up, presented by Scott Credit Union. Your St.
Hockey Report! Hello, I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I am joined today by Miss Ashley Slapshot Jones and our buddy from upstate, Windy City Hockey. And we're going to talk some hockey tonight. Are you ready to make some noise?
Mm-hmm.
How's that for an intro?
That was good, man.
That was insane.
That was insane. Oh, you gotta love Windy. How you doing, Nick, man? How you doing, bud?
It's been all right. Long time we've talked.
Yeah. You know, I had one of them days where I was actually feeling really low today, and to get your little message there at the last minute saying, "Hey, can I come on?" really like lifted my spirit. So I wanted to say thank you for that.
No problem.
Right. Ashley, how you doing today? How was school?
I didn't have school because Leia is sick.
Oh no.
So what I'm experiencing that started last night, she started today.
Oh, that's not good. Especially with her, because she takes it differently, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was so much fun getting her COVID tested so the doctor would see her, and then strep and flu tested and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, just a sick kid.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now your pup wants out.
Yeah, no, she doesn't know what she wants. It's too cold to be outside, and then she cries when she's inside, so...
Yeah, I get it. So before we get into hockey, there was a debate on Facebook that I wanted to get into real quick. And actually, I thought it was a good one, and I liked it. Meatloaf, ketchup, barbecue sauce, or pasta sauce? See, pasta sauce is me. I put pasta sauce or marinara sauce on top of my meatloaf or in my meatloaf to cook it, right? But what about you guys? What goes on meatloaf?
Well, when my mom makes meatloaf, ketchup goes on it. I don't eat meatloaf.
What about you, Randy?
When my parents make it, they put ketchup on it, but I don't eat it either.
Oh, see, so for someone who was a sailor, right? Meatloaf was like one of those meals that's really, really hard to mess up. Especially that's like one, because they have recipe cards and they have to follow the recipe cards. Yeah. That's one card that's actually really, really, I mean, it's good. So, you know, when you were getting meatloaf, it was decent. And usually they had ketchup out or barbecue sauce. When I started making it, I liked using pasta sauce. I like using either marinara or some type of pasta sauce because I feel like it gives it a little bit more a flair to it. Makes it what it's supposed to be, more of a meatloaf to me is almost Italian style. Yeah, and I know my mic's going in and out. I did everything. I thought I had it fixed today. I talked for 20 minutes and it didn't do it one time. As soon as I went live, it starts doing it. So not much I can do about it.
That's all
right. Yeah, sorry guys. I've got it. I played with the gain. I played with everything today to try and get it to where you wouldn't have the background noises. You wouldn't have any of that stuff. And you know what? None of it worked.
Sometimes it's just gotta be what it is,
Yeah, I've done everything I can, and I just can't seem to get. I
That's
can't seem to
technology
make
for
any
you.
ground. Right now, I got a Meatloaf song in my head. Well, we're here to talk hockey today, and the biggest news of the day is Keith Yandle of the Philadelphia Flyers
Mhm.
has set the new Ironman record. Right? I love
Yeah.
it. I think it's great. I love that he's doing it. I mean, the only thing that kind of brings it down for me is that he's basically a third line defenseman. For he's a fourth line guy. He doesn't play 15, 20 minutes a night. He plays 7-8 minutes a night. But it takes a lot to get out there and do it. So I think it's pretty cool. But to me, the Iron Man's always going to be Gary Unger. I mean, to me, the fact that what he did, how long it took someone to even come close to it. Right?
I'm not going to take anything away from Gary, but I'm more impressed with this one because he did it during a COVID time.
Yeah.
That does have something to do with the fact that he hasn't tested positive, or that's all it would take to end it. Testing positive or whatever. And not only that, you've got what's his name from Arizona right behind him. Kessel, yeah, you got Kessel, the hot dog man, right behind him. Mm-hmm. Right, you got the hot dog man right behind him. Right, it's an interesting record in the NHL. It's the way these guys play. I think it holds more of a. To me, it holds as much of a. I hold it up there with the same way that I put Lou Gehrig and I'm going to forget his name now. The Baltimore Oriole that said it in baseball. Cal Ripken Jr. Yeah, Cal Ripken Jr. So conspiracy is tested positive with the NHL. Let it slide. And you know what? I maybe I don't know. It's been fun. Debate this is a time that the physicality is limited in the game. So yeah, and that I think that's part of why I look at Gary's 900 games, has 914 games or 13 games, whatever it was, has a bigger number, because of what the game was when he did it. However, the record that just got broken, the one that broke Gary's, and I can't think of his name now. Say again?
Doug Jarvis.
Yeah, Jarvis did it in the late 70s to from like 76 to 87.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, he played in that rough and tough era too. Right? So Jarvis is up there for me. And I guess, I have a personal connection to Gary. So that's why, and I'm going to be honest, it has a lot to do with it. That's going to give me a little bit more of see what he does in a higher light, if that makes a little bit of sense.
The style defenseman that Yandle is, he should get this credit with how he is. He's a physical, shot-blocking defenseman who hasn't gotten injured in over 965 games, which that right there in itself, being a shot-blocking defenseman who's shut down as a primary shutdown guy, that's pretty impressive to see.
No, it is. I'm not gonna take anything away from it, and I'm not taking away from it. I'm not. It's just when you think of if you'd ask me who's the NHL Iron Man, Yandle's name doesn't come first to me. The name that comes first is Unger's.
And that's because you have that relationship with him and your predisposition to think that way.
Yeah, and I get that, and I'm not taking anything away from Yandle or any of the other guys, or even Kessel, the hot dog man. Give him a hot dog and he goes. But I think it really does show that these guys, I mean, they're tough. They can handle some of that's coming at them, and you look at what it was. And did you see the article? I know maybe I don't know if Wendy saw it or not, on Tarasenko and COVID.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Apparently, all 5 of them including his newborn or his 2-year-old, got COVID at the same time. I would not want to be in that household.
Actually, that would make it easier because when I had COVID, I was so worried about giving it to my daughters.
Yeah.
If you all have it, then there's no need to, be worried.
He said he had pretty good symptoms. That's why he went longer than most of the guys have. Right? He had symptoms, and it kind of, and I'm in a situation like that too, where my symptoms are coming and going. So, and I'm sorry about the mic, guys. I don't know what to do. I might try another mic for tomorrow. I can't change it out now. It won't work.
Technology happens. It always
does
sometimes. So don't worry about it.
Well, you do what you got to do, man. You do what you got to do. So what else do we want to talk about tonight? I put on there, let's talk about the goalies. I haven't seen a lot of debate about the goalies. The St. Louis has got a real interesting goalie position right now. I've been thinking about this all day, actually. My wife had to quarantine in the bedroom. It was the best 4 days of my life. You're going to get in trouble, my friend. I'm at this point where I say, you know what? Go ahead and go with Husso. Just go with them because the guy. So I got a message from somebody, and I'm not going to say who because I don't want to dime them. Come on, Mike. Sorry. Somebody sent me am I still going in and out?
Every now and then it's all right though.
Somebody sent me a message, and basically it said, you guys went and blamed it on the coach again. Why are you blaming it on the coach? The players got to play. And I get it. My thing with this is, if those guys quit playing for Bennington, and that's what looked like happened yesterday. It absolutely looked like from the get-go, they quit playing for Bennington. That's the coach's job to stop that. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think that we said. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. And if I try and change a mic out, I think it'll put me in even a worse position. I'm trying to put it everywhere I can to where it's out of the way, but it's picking me up. So I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can, guys. I really am. Try and kick the volume up a little bit, see if that helps. So,
I'd rather you go in and out than that screeching sound.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Well, that's the other problem. Because I'm so deaf, it's picking up the headphones. Because I have to have the headphones loud enough for me to hear it while it plays back through the mic.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't hear my voice through the headphones, so I'm not 100% sure what's being said. So that's what I've got to deal with. Berube needs to say Bennington is starting Thursday to figure it out and play for him. Saki, I agree with that. I really do. Wendy, let me ask you something. Up in Chicago with Fleury, with Marc-Andre Fleury right now. There's rumors that they're talking about wanting to trade him. Do you think they're going to trade him, or are they going to stick with him for the season?
Honestly, with Kevin Lakenan now being put on IR, I think the Hawks are going to just stick and say, we aren't going to worry about trading Fleury. He's a rental to any team anyways. We won't get much for him if we do trade him. So might as well stick with it and maybe see if we can even re-sign him in the offseason unless he wants to retire.
I think if he plays next year, he doesn't play in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I really do. If he plays next year, he doesn't play in Chicago. That's my gut feeling. Right?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, guy. I really think that if he plays again, he'll be wanting a contract with Pittsburgh to retire where he started.
I could see that. Or I could see him going back to Vegas.
The thing with that, I don't think he'll ever go back to Vegas to play there just because how dirty they did him by trading him for nothing, basically.
Trading him for nothing and not telling him that, I don't see him ever going.
Not telling him part. That's the worst of it. But the way that fan base treated him when he went back, damn, I hate this mic right now. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm doing everything I can, but I don't know what you're hearing, what you're not hearing. Are you guys hearing me right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not hearing myself, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Oh, that's a little better. Now I can hear myself a little bit. No, and I get that. I really don't know. I think the way the fan base treated him, I could see that. The squeaks were for me, so I'm trying to correct them as best I can. I wish I still had my Rode mic, but I right now I just can't afford it. But I'll deal with that. That's neither here nor there. Oh man, now I just kind of lost my place. What I wanted to talk about. Wendy, what do you see in the Central right now from your outside looking in? Well, what you see in the Central. What is your opinion of the Central right now?
Well, every time we play anyone in the Central, it's either games that are blown out, so it's hard to say right now. But from my opinion, the Central Division's probably how it's been playing the hardest nosed division in the NHL, how it's been playing. Colorado playing red hot right now, showing how they are the Stanley Cup favorites in the season. They and Minnesota's also playing red hot. It's just you're getting red hot teams, and then you have teams that are going to be for a coach's change at the end of the year, like Chicago, like Dallas, like Arizona. You'll see that type of stuff happen, but honestly, we're seeing the teams lay out how the standings are going so far. I think right now are the teams that are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a 5-team fight. Actually, it's a 6-team fight.
Dallas is
5-team
really
fight.
out of it, in my opinion.
Well, Dallas is the fringe, but but it is a 5-team fight, and I don't think that and I don't think that the Pacific's getting 4 teams.
No, the
right.
Pacific's
I
too
don't
weak.
right. I don't see them getting 4 teams. Ryan Glass asked Wendy thoughts on Saad leaving Chicago and ending up in St. Louis eventually. Is Chicago better since he left? Are you happy for him being successful with other teams? Good question.
Well, he's a traitor going to St. Louis. I always loved Saad in Chicago. When he went to Columbus, I liked him in Columbus. When we traded him for Zadorov last year to Colorado, I was hoping for him and the Avalanche to go on to win the Cup because he was having a stellar playoff last year. Now in St. Louis, I can't like him.
Well, and you and me have talked about this a couple of times, and I know you think I do you dirty when I talk about it, but does Chicago trade Taves or Kane before the trade deadline this season?
No.
Are you sure? I mean, are you dead sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Why? And I got to ask, because to me, the iron's hot. Especially with neither one of them making the All-Star game, and with especially
from what I'm
with
hearing, Kane didn't want to play in the All-Star game because it's a joke anyways. And he's new his season. He's not having the greatest season to be an All-Star. From what I've been hearing, that's what it sounds like. Kane didn't want to play in the All-Star game anyways. Alex DeBrincat is the star of the Chicago Blackhawks now.
Okay, that's fair. But so both Taves and Kane have one more year left on their contracts, right?
After this season, yeah.
After this season. Are you going to get more for him next year, or are you just going to let him walk?
I don't think they are going to try and let them walk. I think they're going to just re-sign them. Taves could potentially decide to retire because he did miss a season prior.
Yeah.
And his numbers at the year before were already showing that he's on the decline. Kane, I see them try and re-sign him, have him as that leadership spot in the team with the rebuild happening, because you have some key players to build around in Alex DeBrincat, Lucas Reichel, Kirby Dach, Colton Dach. You have some key players to build around and coming up. It makes sense to try and re-sign the two of them for that leadership spot to show them the routes in the NHL.
Yeah, but I got to bring this up, and I don't want to, but I have to. But doesn't Taves have some stink on him right now?
No.
No, you don't think that whole situation is connected to him in one way, shape, or form? He was the captain of the team when that all went down.
Yes, he was the captain, but honestly, I think the Hawks are going to do everything to re-sign him.
And fair enough. I just, to me,
And honestly, Guy, there is no proof that he really knew what was going on. I know you say that there was rumors and stuff, but Quenneville made it abundantly clear he didn't want his players to know going after a cup. So they were keeping it away from the team so that they weren't distracted. I don't think that Taves is got his hands dirty in this.
Yes and no. So here's my take on this. The captain is the captain of the entire team, not just the players suited up. I can't believe that he didn't go to Taves at some point and say, hey, this happened.
From what I'm aware of, most of the time the Black Aces tend to not be on the ice at the same time or in the locker room at the same time of the main roster.
And the main roster wouldn't be interacting with the minor league club or the Black Aces because they're focused on their team. That's why that team has a captain.
I get it. Okay, fair enough. I just, for me, I have a hard time separating Taves from that.
Well, that's because you have animosity towards Taves, so you're going to look to find him dirty.
Well,
he's not your favorite player.
No, not in the least bit.
So you're going to want to find the dirt and put it on him, but this time it doesn't go on him. I think Taves is a jerk. I don't like him. But it's not, this is not his dirt.
I know. So, Wendy, did you, I know that you try and go to the Blackhawks Blues games in St. Louis. Are you mad about the game on the 30th getting...
No, I'm actually happy. I'm actually happy because it works out perfectly for me because I'm going to the game on the 31st in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So, you would have had a long night then.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know where you live, so I know what your driving distance would have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not putting that out. You've asked me not going there.
Yeah.
If it happened, the investigation would have discovered that, and there's no way Chicago would have kept him on and potentially make a larger PR nightmare for them. Well, I don't know. You look at and I can't think of the defenseman that went to Edmonton.
Duncan Keith.
Keith, right? Keith's interview or whatever. I mean, there was stink on Keith. There was absolute stink on Keith.
It wasn't revealed in the investigation, which was a third party that you actually said did a great job with it.
I think
they took down one of the best coaches in NHL history when they dirtied Quenneville. So I don't think that they would have stopped at a player.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Green says, I blame Taves for stubbing my toe because you can't spell Taves without toe.
You can blame Devon Taves instead of John.
Yeah, that's when they said that Taves had signed with Colorado, I was like, wow! And then I realized it was the other Taves.
Yeah, the other Taves.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. So let's get back to the topic at hand for a little bit. The Blues goalie controversy, and that's what it is. I mean, I have to call it that now. I don't know what to do. I'm in a loss. I know Wendy's over there going, ha ha ha, Blues have a goalie controversy.
Don't they have this every other year though?
Yes.
It feels like it.
Okay. So how great was Fleury at the beginning of this season? He's going to be a Hall of Fame goalie, you know. He had a rough start, right?
He had a rough start, yeah.
Which proves that even good elite goaltenders go through droughts, right?
Yeah.
That's all this is a drought. He played just fine after the playoffs until the bubble. He actually played well the season after that. He hasn't been playing well in the playoffs, but during the regular season, this is like his first major slump.
No, he didn't. He didn't play. He didn't play well during the 21 season.
Yes, he did. He saved us a lot of games.
Okay, but we didn't have. We did not have a great season. We barely snuck into the playoffs and got swept.
We snuck into the playoffs because his goaltending was there when we needed it to be.
Okay, and that's a fair point. That is a fair point.
I didn't know how bad the numbers were for Bennington this year.
This season is terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Those are fringe start or like backup start numbers.
They're terrible, but he also has lost the trust of the team, so they're not playing for him. So that's when you get a 7-1 loss like we had yesterday.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that was just. I thought I was watching the Blackhawks play. Oh, Wendy, I had to give
I
you
get that all the time, so I don't care. This is an AHL roster usually this season. So how the Hawks are, it's an AHL team on ice. They barely can. If you put them up against the best AHL team in a 7-game series right now, I would say the AHL team will beat us.
I don't think so. I said, see, this is an argument I've had with people, and I've tried to make that point. Everyone says that like the difference between first and 32nd in the league is like this really, really huge gap, and it's not. It's like this, right? It's this really, really tight gap that people zoom in on when to make it look like this. I would take Arizona or Montreal or even Seattle right now against the best team in the AHL, the ECHL, whichever league, in a 7-game series, and I'll win in 5.
No.
Good question from Ryan.
No, no one blames Fleury on the losses because it's usually the defense that lets them down up front of them. That's what it is. No one blames him on the losses. Fleury's had one out of every start he's played. He's really had one rough game, and that was against Arizona. And then the next game, he had a hell of a game. So, really, I haven't seen the blame against Fleury. It's been pretty much on the defense.
And see, that's the thing with the Blues. They blame the goalie. They blame Bennington for every single loss he has.
Mm-hmm.
Every goal that goes in is his fault.
They even blame him on games that we win. If he let in 3, like we won a 5-3 game. Oh, yeah. But Bennington, he sucks.
Hey, that's how it was with the Blackhawks when they had Corey Crawford for years. Because Corey Crawford, in my opinion, one of the most underrated and most unappreciated athletes in Chicago sports history. And what he did for that team was enough to not be blamed, but he got a lot of the brunt of the blame because our defense was actually one of the top in the NHL with Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, Nicholas Jarmerson, Johnny Oduya up in the top 4. And then you had Corey Crawford out of our starter who had, there were some rough games, but he should not have been blamed as much as he was back when he did play.
And no, that's a fair point. That really is. Chris Shockey says, I asked this last night, but the show ended. How much does Bennington's actions factor into this? It seems like he really went down after the game. He swung a stick at Kadri. I don't know about that. I'm not sure what is going on in his head right now. All right. It just seems like he doesn't have that swagger that he had in 19 and for the part of 20.
He's nervous.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I don't think that he's nervous.
Yeah.
I think he's pissed and then he makes mistakes. If you get too emotional in any situation or any way,
he makes a joke about it.
Yeah.
Yes, but no, he's not nervous. He's pissed.
Yeah.
That's for you, Wendy. Man, this echo in my... I don't know if you guys are hearing, but I have an echo in my head.
I don't hear an echo, but I don't hear an echo when they're complaining about it either.
Yeah, it
I
is
see
what it
that
is.
echo.
Echo, 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 echo.
Good point, Robert. How about number 90 be a captain and start to get his team together? The coach can only rant so much.
Yes, that is a good point.
Hmm.
Look, I haven't blamed Benny. I haven't been on Berube case this season at all. Right?
Apparently, you were last night whenever I went out sick.
Yeah. Well, what we said was, and I think the person that responded didn't really catch what we were trying to say, and that's what I talked about earlier. If there is, yeah,
Oh, Shocky, you're the best.
I know. If the team quit playing for Bennington, which it looked like, that's on the coach to fix that. That's what we were saying last night.
But wouldn't it be on the captain after your whole argument about Taves and he should be, he should know everything because he's the captain of the team and everything? So shouldn't O'Reilly be able to handle this problem with the team that he captains, the one that he leads? Shouldn't he lead by example?
I mean, every loss is his fault.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he doesn't do anything to fix it.
Got for Christmas.
But I can see why that comment could be argued.
Yeah.
Right. It's the coaches. The coach has got to get the locker room back if the locker room's lost. If they've lost confidence in Bennington, then he needs to stick Bennington during a practice in the net and just have guys fire pucks at him. Right? Do a what do you call it? A Mighty Ducks thing with Goldberg. Tie him up.
Yeah,
and
that's
fire pucks.
Just try and
Say
kill
again?
your goalie in net. That's how it is.
Right, but it's I don't know. You sit here and you watch yesterday's game and you have no words. Absolutely no.
I have words, I just can't say them on the show.
Oh, you can say them on the show. You just don't want to say them on the show. Yeah, O'Reilly hasn't been my favorite leader the whole time. I was excited when he was announced after Petro left. I was too, and I still think he's done a decent job. I don't think that he's been a bad captain, right? I just wish he wouldn't take it all on his shoulders all the time. I wish he would come out in the press conference and say, yeah, we screwed that up. Clear the mechanism. Maybe, man. I don't know what he needs, but someone talked about Allen and his mental break. That was a fun. So first of all, Allen never said that. Armstrong said it. Second of all, Bennington got a week off between games. Wouldn't that be enough time?
I, again, though, only put 2 goals on Bennington. So even if he got the 2 that he would want back, that's a 5-1 loss. We had no offense. We took 2 shots in the second period. That is not a goalie's fault. That is the entire team doing a Molotov cocktail and just saying, screw it. Blow it up.
Yep. Well, I mean, Calgary owned all 3 zones.
They absolutely did because the Blues let them.
Right.
They had no energy. It looked like they had no heart on the ice whatsoever. Every single player, except for maybe Sundqvist, and that was about it.
It's Butchie's
Here's
fault.
what I have to say. If you let Nikita Zadorov score, there's a problem.
Exactly. And that's one of the goals that I think that he'd want back.
Yeah, that was one he'd want back. I agree there. Well, they played like a team last night, but they just lost like a team. I don't know. I don't feel like they played like a team last night.
There was no cohesion whatsoever. There were so many passes that went behind them and onto the stick of a Calgary Flames player. No.
Yeah, I mean,
there
the
was
only
nothing.
the only guy that I felt was playing every shift was Buchnevich and maybe Kostin.
Oh, no. Kostin played terrible. No. I would
I've
really
seen-
like Klim Kostin to sit. I would like them to bring Brown back in because Kostin is not impressing me.
I have one question. Did St. Louis at all do a players-only meeting after the game at all, or no?
It wasn't
Not that
announced.
it wasn't
Okay.
announced. So
They might do
Because
that. They might have done that today when they got back to St. Louis, but
okay. Because
if
I
they,
know when the Hawks were in Arizona a few weeks ago and lost to the Coyotes, they had a players-only meeting, and then after that they went on a run. That's why I was just wondering.
if they've done players only meetings, then they've been kept out of the press.
Okay.
Right. And that's all I can say. I will say this. I know this for a fact. The St. Louis PR department keeps a very tight lid on the Blues press. Right. So if there's something like that, they're not going to let it out. They're going to ask those guys not to release it.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. So it is what it is. I'm sure 90 yelled at the team.
no, I don't think he is the guy to do it. He's totally too soft spoken. He'll just say it's his fault and move on. If anyone yelled at the team, it was Tarasenko.
Yeah. I would agree
And
with
he
that.
probably yelled at them in a bunch of Russian that they didn't understand.
Oh, I'm sure he's figured out the American curse words. In fact, I've heard him say American curse words now.
Yeah.
So I have a new respect for Tarasenko after that practice I got to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was him that kicked me out of practice the next day, I still got a little bit of I really like what I saw from him and how he practiced and how he talked to the other guys. It was really interesting. Right? That was the day I had to go to the hospital. I didn't want to go.
Jose,
Perron,
I will agree with that, but I add Sundqvist because that Bozak goal wasn't going to get scored without Sundqvist making a heck of a pass.
agree. Falling short as a cat, and he could be.
I have to agree.
Right? He absolutely could be. I honestly don't know. So I mean, it kind of is what it is. It isn't what it isn't.
You see, a leader, in my opinion, leads by example. And to do that, you have to make a change when something goes wrong. So when he comes out and he says, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. And then the next night he comes out, well, I should have done this, I should have done that. You didn't change anything, and you're not holding your team accountable. You're just saying it's all your fault. So that's not a leader. That's just a freaking guy that's letting everyone throw punches at him.
Agreed. I'm okay with that. I think you're dead on there. Trying to play with my gain a little bit to see if I can get things to be a little bit better. I don't know if it's working or not.
Sorry, man.
Hey, it is what it is. We're getting through it. Wendy, what do you got for us, man? Give us something we can talk about. One of them slow nights. You guys aren't playing today, are you?
No, we're off. We play Detroit tomorrow.
Ooh, that should be a good game.
Yeah,
it should be, unless the Hawks do what they tend to do, is play down to opponents and lose.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, we do the same thing. We've got Calgary. We've got another day. We play Calgary on Thursday, and then we've got Winnipeg. We have a 4-game homestand, but it's like over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 games, and then we have 11 days off, and then 2 games.
2 more games, yeah.
You guys have 11 days off?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean that's we're one of those teams that's at the halfway mark or above. We're at 42 games now, so there's a lot of teams that are behind. So going into February, well, the Blues only had 3 games that were postponed.
Yeah,
And they weren't the Blues games. They were they weren't the Blues' fault. They were the 2 games in Canada when the league just said, you know what, we're not going to do cross travel over Christmas because the team's getting stuck. And then the 27th, where the league just said, you know what, we're going to take 1 extra day to get some tests in and figure out where we're at.
Yeah, the Hawks had like 9 games postponed, but all of them were from the opposing teams.
Right. So that being said, we've got games scheduled into February, but after the All-Star break, we've got this big break before it and after it.
Yeah, which is why the Chicago game got moved.
Yeah. Well, they
I'm
moved the
happy for it
Chicago
because
game.
it's
I
not
think they moved
back-to-back now
they
for the
moved the
Hawks.
Chicago game and then moved the Winnipeg game up to this
To-
spot, right?
To have no, they moved it to the Winnipeg game was always there,
Oh,
but
okay.
they moved the Chicago game to give us another game in the scheduled break that they're trying to get people to play.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I figured they were going to do some moving around like that. It just happens. Well, guys, I can see that you see this isn't a great show today. Sorry about that. I'm working on tomorrow. I may have a guest tomorrow. I don't know for sure yet. Got to make some phone calls in the morning to shore it up. If not, it'll be just a regular show. Wendy, thanks for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you, bud.
Windy City Hockey on YouTube, spelled like this, and at WC Hockey on Twitter, and at Windy City Hockey on Instagram.
Oh, man, that's cool. And you got Ashley Slapshot Jones, who's here on the show and on Twitter. She's got a couple Twitters. What are your Twitters there, bud?
It's no one can hear you and Slapshot Jones.
Yep, they're going across the bottom, and you can find me all over the place. Everyone knows where to find me. I'm going house hunting tomorrow.
Good luck.
Yeah, actually, I got to hand Shockey credit, man. So one of the reasons that he was not able to play in the tournament coming up is he lives so far away that he doesn't go to all the practices. Right? He only goes to the weekend practices. Well, he wants to play so bad that they're going to look at moving closer to St. Louis so he can go to the practices on the weekdays along with the weekends, so this doesn't happen to him again.
That's amazing. I really hope you find something. I know you want to stay at Illinois side, but so I don't really know what their market is.
Yeah.
But I know that it's getting kind of tight in Missouri. It's definitely a seller's market.
They have oceanfront property in East St. Louis. Sauget, move to Sauget. I know, I'm being an ass. Well, guys, thanks for coming on tonight. We had a lot of fun. Hey, Wendy, thanks for coming on. Sorry it wasn't a great show, but I appreciate you coming on. You really did brighten my day and make me feel a lot better. You're welcome anytime you want to come on, man. Just let me know.
All right.
Hey, for that Chicago game, I know you like to do the what do you call it?
The live reaction
the live
show?
reactions, right?
The live reactions. What time is that game on? Actually,
I think it's at 7.
It's a 7.
Okay, it's a 7:00 start.
You might be at the game though.
It depends on if I'm at the game or just how everything goes for scheduling.
If you're not at the game, I'd like to figure out a way that we could we can come on and do it together.
Okay.
Like, I mean, get a live reaction from both sides. I think what I would do, it would be, you might be able to let me get into your, one of us get into each other's YouTube's accounts.
Yeah.
And share it on that way, and then share it through that way, so it's equally shared that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we could figure something out to come on and do it together, so we're both getting the right amount of coverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be sitting that one out.
Doing because it's when I have free time to be able to go live and just hop on to throw a live reaction, because sometimes the Blackhawks broadcasting this year hasn't been it hasn't been up to normal, because Pat Foley, this is his final season, and they're doing auditions for the next play-by-play man. So there's been times I just go on live reaction, just throw the game on live reaction. There we go.
Yeah, I just thought it would be fun to have two guys from opposite, rivals.
Yeah.
Reacting to the game. So when there's a penalty that I like, you're going to hate, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Teddy, actually, you're catching us as we're going off, buddy. You can go back and watch what we talked about and comment there, and then people will read your comments because I see it all the time. Well, guys, this is Guy the Y Blues fan for Windy City Hockey and Ashley Slapshot Jones saying aloha mahalo, and at least two of us are bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.